Hey everyone, and welcome. So today we're tackling a problem that is just so common. It's that constant, annoying feeling of having way too much phlegm. And we're about to uncover some really surprising and, healthy foods that might actually be the ones causing all the trouble.
I mean, does this sound like you, that little ahem to clear your throat all the time? A stuffy nose that just won't quit, or that cold that decides to move in and never leave? If you're sitting there nodding, then you are in exactly the right place. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Okay, first things first, and this might surprise you. Mucus is not the bad guy here. Not at all. It's actually a superhero. Think of it like your body's personal air filter, trapping all that gunk, germs, dust, pollutants, before it gets into your lungs. The real problem, the thing that makes us miserable, is when our body goes into overdrive and starts making way too much of it. That's when you can't breathe right, can't sleep well, and you're constantly clearing your throat.
So what's making our bodies produce so much of this stuff? Well, we're going to count down 5 really common foods. A lot of them you probably think are super healthy that could be clogging you up from the inside. Ready? Let's get into it.
Kicking off our list at number 5, this is something millions of us eat pretty much every day, but it could be a major hidden trigger.
And it's curd and other dairy products. In Ayurveda, there are specific words for this. They call it a phlegm creator that basically blocks up all the channels in your body. So if you're struggling with phlegm, just trying to limit your dairy intake could be a huge game changer. And hey, if you love your curd, just try to eat it before the afternoon. And here's the trick. Always add a little black salt and pepper. It really helps.
All right, moving on to number 4. This one is probably in your fruit bowl right now.
Yep, it's the banana. Now this is pretty fascinating. When you eat a banana, your body can release something called histamine. Histamine is basically like a little alarm system that tells your body to produce more mucus. It's actually the same thing that gets triggered during an allergic reaction. So if you've got a cold or sinus issues, it's probably a good idea to lay off the bananas for a bit. And if you absolutely have to have one, just sprinkle some black pepper and black salt on it.
Coming in at number 3, this one is the foundation of so many of our breakfasts and lunches.
Bread. A lot of the bread we buy from the store is full of things like gluten, preservatives, and thickeners, and all that stuff can cause a low level of inflammation inside our bodies. And what does your body do when it's irritated? You guessed it. It produces mucus as a shield to protect itself. A really simple fix here is to try swapping out your commercial bread for something like Indian flatbread or roti. You can still make sandwiches and rolls with it.
Okay, we've reached number 2. This food is a staple for literally half the people on Earth.
It's rice. See, rice is very starchy and it has a cooling quality, which can really increase phlegm production. It kind of just gums things up inside. Now, you don't have to give it up completely, but maybe just cut back a little. And here's a pro tip. Always cook your rice with warming spices like a bay leaf, a few cloves, or a cinnamon stick. It helps balance things out. Or, even better, try using more gram flour or besan in your cooking.
And here we are, at the number 1 most surprising mucus culprit. Now, to really get this one, you have to understand one simple rule about your body.
And this is the rule. The more acidity you have in your body, especially from acid reflux, the more mucus your body's going to make. It's a direct cause and effect. And that idea is the key to understanding our number 1 trigger.
So, the number 1 culprits are chocolate and coffee. Here's what happens. These two can relax the little muscle that's supposed to keep stomach acid in your stomach. When that gatekeeper muscle gets lazy, acid can splash up into your throat, which really irritates it. And what does your body do to protect that irritated tissue? It creates a nice, thick layer of mucus. So if you deal with acidity, avoiding chocolate, coffee, and other things like fried foods might just be the key to clearing up all that phlegm.
Okay, so we've talked about the foods that might be causing the problem, but what about the phlegm that's already there? How do we get rid of it? Well, let's look at 4 super simple, totally natural remedies that can help clear you out.
We're going to check out 4 amazing little tricks. The simple but powerful effect of hot water, a special onion salad, a cool herb called licorice, and of course that classic ginger and honey tea.
First up, just plain hot water. I know, it sounds way too simple, right? But the heat from the water literally helps melt away that thick, sticky phlegm. There was even a study that found hot water was just as good as chicken soup for clearing up congestion, while cold water actually made things worse. So a great little habit is to just keep a thermos of hot water with you and sip on it all day. Next up, the onion salad.
Raw onions have these two amazing compounds in them, allium and quercetin, that are clinically proven to help with congestion. And it's so easy. Just slice up an onion, squeeze on some lemon juice, add a little black salt and pepper, and have a bit with your lunch and dinner. So simple, but so effective.
Okay, remedy number 3 is licorice root, also known as mulethi. Licorice is a natural expectorant, and that's just a fancy word for something that helps you clear mucus out of your airways. But what's so cool about licorice is that it does 2 jobs at once. It helps clear out the phlegm you already have, and it helps reduce the acidity that's causing it to form in the first place. You can just chew on a small piece of the root in the morning and evening. And last but not least, an all-time classic for a very good reason, ginger and honey tea. This stuff is just so soothing and so good at breaking up congestion. Here's how you make it. Grate some ginger and boil it in water. Maybe add a pinch of turmeric or black pepper to boost it. Let it boil down until the water is reduced by about half. Then, let it cool down just a little bit and stir in a spoonful of honey. It's perfect.
So we've gone through the problem foods and we've gone through the remedies. But how do you actually make this work in your real life and get results that last? Let's make an action plan.
The most important word to remember here is consistency. Any change you make needs time to actually work. The advice here is to pick something and stick with it for at least 60 days. That's how long it takes to really see a big difference.
And that really brings me to the biggest takeaway of this whole thing. Please don't feel like you have to do everything we talked about. That's just overwhelming. Instead, just look at those 4 remedies and pick the one that feels easiest for you. The one you can actually see yourself doing every single day. Because doing one thing consistently is way, way more powerful than trying to do everything once in a while.
So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Whether it's sipping hot water from a thermos, chewing on a piece of licorice root, or making yourself a cozy ginger tea, which one of these simple remedies feels right for you? Which one are you going to try first?